I'm Oakley Ramsey, 18 now. On my 13th birthday party, right in our backyard in Franklin, Tennessee, there were almost 30 people, mostly my sister's cheer squad and their parents. I was leaning in to blow out the candles when my own mother, already tipsy from the wine someone brought, laughed out loud in front of everyone and said, "Sometimes I honestly wish you were never born. This house would have been so much calmer." My sister didn't even blink before adding, "Mom, seriously, she ruins everything." The backyard went completely silent. A couple of cheergirls smirked. Some parents stared at their shoes. I stood frozen for a few seconds, set the knife down, and walked inside without a word. That same night, before slamming the front door for good, I looked back one last time and told them, "Fine. From now on, just pretend I'm already dead." Then I left with nothing but my backpack. 5 years later, let's just say the fallout was absolute chaos. And nobody, especially not them, ever saw it coming. If you want to know exactly how that one night turned my entire family upside down, how they panicked, how everything they built collapsed, and where we all stand today, stay until the very end because you won't believe what happened next. Drop a like if you've ever had that one family moment that changed everything forever. Comment, "I felt that," if it hits too close, and let's get into it. I've been the spare kid since the first memory I have. My older sister Dallas was always the one who got the spotlight. She started cheer when she was 7, and by 9 she was already captain of the junior squad at Battleground Academy. Mom and Dad made sure the whole town knew it. They bought her new uniforms every season, custom bows, pom-poms with real crystals that caught the stadium lights like diamonds. They paid for private tumbling classes in Nashville and stunt camps in Atlanta. When Dallas led the squad to nationals in 8th grade, Dad rented a party bus for the whole team and Mom threw a watch party at the country club. I got handed Dallas's hand-me-down cheer shoes when I begged to try out. They were 2 sizes too big, the soles worn smooth as glass. I slipped on the gym floor the first day, and everyone laughed. Dad told me cheer wasn't really my thing. Dallas started riding horses at Harlandale Farm when she was 10. English saddle, weekly lessons, showed jackets that cost more than most people's rent. She competed all over Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia. Came home with blue ribbons and giant silver cups. Mom turned the upstairs bonus room into a trophy shrine for her. I loved horses too. I asked for lessons every birthday, every Christmas. The answer was always the same. Those lessons are for Dallas. She's the one of the best in the state. You just hold the coach back. I got to feed the neighbor's old mare sometimes, and that was it. Dallas got her own bedroom painted lavender when she turned 9, the big one with the vaulted ceiling and the walk-in closet. The second biggest bedroom got converted into her cheer room. Shelves for trophies, racks for uniforms, a full-length mirror with lights around it, bins labeled by color for hair bows. So from the time I was 9 until 13, I slept on the pull-out couch in the basement. No real door, just a sliding barn thing that never closed all the way. The air vent barely worked. In summer, it was a sauna. In winter, I slept in 3 hoodies. My clothes lived in plastic totes under the stairs. When relatives visited, they got the guest room. I stayed on the couch. Mom said I was low maintenance. Weekends belonged to Dallas. Dad loaded the trailer with her tack boxes and drove her to shows in Lexington or Atlanta or Birmingham. They left Thursday night and came back Sunday evening with new ribbons and stories about how Dallas cleared every jump clean. I stayed home to mow the yard or clean the horse trailer when they got back. If I asked to tag along, Dad would sigh and say, "You'd just be bored in the bleachers all day." Mom turned the church bulletin board at Franklin First Baptist into the Dallas showcase. Every week there were new photos. Dallas mid-stunt, Dallas on horseback, Dallas holding another trophy. People stopped her after service to tell her how proud the whole congregation was. My report cards with straight A's never made the board. When I won the school spelling bee in 6th grade, Mom said good job and immediately asked Dallas if her show coat still fit. Dad's morning routine never changed. He'd back the truck out of the garage, look at me in the rearview mirror while I waited for the bus, and say the same thing every single day. "Don't cause trouble today." Then he'd drive off to take Dallas to early practice. That was my life. Being the extra who made Dallas look even more perfect. The quiet one who learned real fast that asking for anything just reminded everyone how much less I mattered. The week before my 13th birthday, Dallas had her own party at the equestrian club on the edge of Franklin. They rented the indoor arena, brought in a DJ that played country remixes, set up pony rides for the little kids, and had a full dessert bar with a 3-tier cake shaped like a horseshoe. She wore a white riding outfit with rhinestones and a sash that said, "Birthday Princess." Mom spent a month planning it. Dad took the day off to help hang the lights. My birthday was labeled family barbecue. That was the official story. Saturday afternoon, the backyard was packed. Almost 30 people showed up, mostly Dallas's current cheer squad. A few girls from her riding team, their parents, some church friends. Only 2 kids from my grade came, and they looked like their moms forced them. The grill was smoking. Someone had a Bluetooth speaker blasting Luke Combs, and Mom had set up folding tables with checkered cloths, even though the sun was still high. She baked a single-layer vanilla cake from a mix, slapped on canned frosting, stuck 13 candles in a circle, called everybody over when the burgers were almost ready. I was wearing the same hoodie I'd had on at school the day before because nobody remembered to get me anything new. Dallas was still in her rhinestone riding jacket, taking pictures with her friends on the patio furniture. Dad handed me the knife and said, "Hurry up. Food's getting cold." I leaned over the cake, cheeks puffed to blow out the candles, and that's when Mom did it. She'd been sipping from a plastic cup of cheap Chardonnay one of the moms brought for the adults. She laughed too loud, put an arm around Dallas, and blurted right there in front of the entire yard. "Sometimes I honestly wish you were never born. This house would have been so much calmer." The music kept going, but every conversation stopped dead. A couple of the younger girls gasped. One dad coughed into his beer. Dallas didn't miss a beat. She flipped her ponytail and added with that fake sweet voice, "Mom, seriously, she ruins everything." I felt my face go ice cold. My fingers went numb around the knife handle. Nobody corrected them. Nobody said, "Hey, that's too far." A few of Dallas's friends actually giggled behind their cups. Dad just flipped another burger like he hadn't heard a thing. I set the knife down on the table, slow, deliberate, didn't slam it, didn't cry. I turned and walked inside, through the sliding glass door, past the cooler. Nobody followed. I went up the stairs, down to the basement that had been my room for 4 years. I dragged the old Chromebook the school issued 2 years earlier out from under the couch, the one with the cracked corner. Grabbed every t-shirt and pair of jeans that still fit, the hoodie with the hole in the sleeve. My toothbrush from the half bath nobody else used. Opened the coffee can hidden behind the furnace. $320 in crumpled 5s and 10s from sweeping the church parking lot and walking neighbors' dogs. Stuffed everything into the same backpack I used for school. Tore a sheet out of an old notebook. Wrote 6 words in black Sharpie big enough they couldn't miss it. "I'm gone. Don't look for me." Left it dead center on the kitchen island, right on top of the paper plates. Walked back, through the yard. The party had already started up again. Someone turned the music louder. Mom was pouring herself another cup. Dallas was posing on the picnic table for a group photo. I didn't look at any of them, pushed open the side gate, and stepped onto the sidewalk. For blocks under the orange street lights of Franklin, past the big white houses with perfect lawns, past the corner where the light always flickered. My grandparents' little brick house sat quiet at the end of the street, porch light glowing like it always did. I got there just after 1 o'clock in the morning, knocked soft. Grandma opened the door in her old robe, hair in curlers, took one look at me, and pulled me inside without a single word. Just held me while everything I'd been carrying for years finally came out. Grandma closed the door behind me that night, and that was the last time I ever slept under the same roof as a Ramsey. Their little one-story brick house sat 4 quiet blocks away, paid off since the 80s. Grandpa had been the head mechanic at the Franklin Ford for 30 years. Grandma ran the front office at the dental practice on Main. They gave me the back bedroom the same night, the one with the twin bed, the old oak dresser, and the window that looked at the magnolia tree. Grandpa started my real education the next morning. We were out in the garage by 6, him in his faded Dickies, me in yesterday's clothes. Him teaching how to gap spark plugs on his 1988 F-150. How to bleed brakes without making air pockets. How to hear the difference between a bad bearing and a loose belt just by listening. On Saturdays, we drove to the Harpeth River with 2 cane poles and a can of corn. He showed me how to bait a hook so the catfish wouldn't steal it, how to keep my line in the shade, how to wait. Grandma took over the house lessons. She taught me real Southern cooking, how to make buttermilk drop biscuits that didn't need rolling, how to fry okra so it didn't turn slimy, how to turn a $5 chicken into 3 different dinners. Every Sunday after church, she sat me at the kitchen table with her checkbook and her calculator, showing how to track every single dollar so it worked for you instead of you working for it. She'd say, "Poor is a mindset, but broke is only temporary." I started at 15 with my learner's permit. First job was opening at Just Love Coffee on Carruthers Parkway. Up at 4, walk the mile in the dark. Unlock, start the espresso machine, pull shots till the line was out the door by 6. Tips in the jar, cash every Friday. Summer's the first cut grass, 25 lawns in the older neighborhoods. Push mower, weed eater, blower, $80 a pop, cash again. Winter I ran the front desk at the church library from 6 to 10 3 nights a week, helping kids with homework while doing my own in the back. Grandpa had the heart attack while he was under Mrs. Henderson's minivan. I came home from school and found him on the driveway. He lasted 2 days at Williamson Medical. At the funeral, Mom and Dad stood in the back, left before the graveside. Dallas sent flowers, but didn't show. Grandma kept going until the pancreatic cancer took her fast. 6 months from diagnosis to hospice. She passed the week I turned 18, right after graduation. The will reading was simple at the attorney on the Franklin Square. House, the paid-off Chevy, $41,000 in savings. All to me because I was the only grandchild and already a legal adult. No Tennessee probate needed when it's that clear-cut. That summer, I added the morning shift at the coffee shop, worked through the heat, ran the church desk from 6 to 10 4 nights, saved every single check, filled the FAFSA alone on the public computer at the library, line by line, wrote my essays in the back, printed them for a dime each. The school counselor, Ms. Lawson, read my final draft and told me to hit submit. I did. The thick envelope from the University of Tennessee came in April. Full ride to Knoxville for mechanical engineering, tuition, fees, housing, meal plan, everything but books and pocket money. I packed the same old JanSport, a few more shirts, the Chromebook, a suit from Goodwill for future interviews. Changed the locks on Cedar Lane the week after the funeral, just in case. Standing in the driveway the morning I left for Knox, duffel over shoulder, keys in hand. I felt something I hadn't had in 5 years. Peace. 5 years of pure grit had turned into a future I built with my hands. And not one of the people who shared my last name had one thing to do with it. The summer I turned 18, I finally felt like I could breathe. I had the house to myself, the acceptance packet from UT sitting on the kitchen table, and a countdown on my phone. 47 days until move-in day. I was working double shifts, saving every dollar, picturing dorm life, new people, a campus 3 hours away where nobody knew my last name. Then one random Tuesday evening, my phone buzzed with a notification I hadn't seen in 5 years. Mom had created a brand new group chat titled Ramsey Carver Wedding 2025. The first message was a 30-second video. Dallas on one knee in a sunflower field outside Leaper's Fork, Ridge Carver, 22, cowboy hat, 190,000 TikTok followers, the whole Southern influencer package, holding out a ring that caught the golden hour light like a flare. She screamed, jumped into his arms. He spun her. The drone pulled back. The caption read, "She said yes to forever, y'all." I stared at it longer than I should have. Then the messages started pouring in. Mom, God is so good. We are beyond blessed. The wedding is set for next June at Southall Farm. Yes, the big restored barn, 200 guests, full floral ceiling, live band, fireworks, the whole dream. Budget is looking like $200,000, and we want every family member to be part of this miracle. Dad couldn't be prouder. Let's make it unforgettable. Mom again, this time at ING me directly. Oakley, you own Grandma's house free and clear now. So, we worked it out. Every close family member is contributing $18,000. That's only fair. You have equity. You're 18, and Dallas has carried the Ramsey name with pride her whole life. Family helps family. $18,000. I sat on the tailgate of Grandpa's old Chevy, boots dangling, iced coffee sweating in my hand, rereading the message like it was written in another language. Jensen pulled up in his Jeep 10 minutes later for our usual Tuesday night drive-in movie plan. He took one look at my face and killed the engine. What happened? I handed him the phone without a word. He scrolled, jaw getting tighter with every line. When he got to the part where Mom wrote the second "wish you were never born," he handed it back and just said, "They really typed that out again in front of everyone." I stared at the screen until the words blurred. Then I opened the chat and typed a single word. No. The typing bubbles appeared instantly. Disappeared. Reappeared. Mom, this isn't a request. Dallas, are you serious right now? Mom again longer. And there it was. Word for word identical to the sentence that had shattered me at 13. Sometimes I honestly wish you were never born. This house would have been so much calmer. I felt the air leave my lungs like someone had punched me. Not hurt, just empty. Jensen watched me, waiting. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I opened every app one by one. Went into contacts first. Blocked Mom's new number. Dad's cell. Dallas's main. Dallas's backup. Ridge's public line. Even the wedding hashtag account she'd already created. Then Instagram. Search, block, confirm.
TikTok, same.
Facebook Messenger, same. Snapchat, Cash App, Venmo, everything. Every single digital thread that still connected me to them, I cut in under 4 minutes. When I was done, the group chat vanished from my phone like it had never existed. I looked up at Jensen. New number tomorrow. He nodded once, pulled me into his chest, and held me while the sun went down over the rooftops of Franklin. That night, I ported my old number to a Google Voice that went straight to voicemail and bought a new SIM at the Walmart on 96. $20 for peace of mind. I slept deeper than I had in years. The next morning, I woke to 53 missed calls from private numbers and a voicemail inbox I never even opened. I deleted the entire thread without listening. By noon, the cousin text started. Your mom is crying nonstop. Dallas is devastated. 18 grand isn't even that much when you own a whole house. Blocked everyone. Dallas posted her first public grenade that same afternoon. TikTok filmed in her truck. No filter, mascara streaking. When your own sister refuses to help pay for your wedding after everything we've been through. She flashed the childhood photo Mom always used, added the sad ukulele audio, and let the comments do the rest. 3 million views before the sun went down. I didn't watch it. I didn't need to. The internet did the work for her, but I also didn't respond. Not once. Because some doors, once you close them, you nail shut from the inside. And that's exactly what I did. Aunt Jolene showed up first, exactly 6 days after I hit block. She rolled up in her white Tahoe at 8:30 on a Monday morning, still in her floral church dress from the day before, eyes already swollen. She didn't even knock. She pounded. I watched her on the doorbell cam for a full minute before I opened the door 3 inches. She launched before I could speak. Oakley Marie Ramsey, you get out here right now. Blood is thicker than water, and you are breaking your mama's heart into a million pieces. Jesus wants families whole, not torn apart over money. She kept going, voice cracking about forgiveness, about how Dallas was crying herself to sleep every night, about how I was acting like a spoiled, selfish child. I let her finish. When the tears slowed, I said, You said what you came to say. Please leave my property, closed the door, flipped the deadbolt, and turned off the porch light even though it was daylight. She stayed out there sobbing loud enough for the neighbors to peek through blinds for another 25 minutes before she finally drove away. Dad waited for Jensen's Saturday morning shift at Just Love Coffee on Carruthers Parkway. Walked in wearing steel-toe boots and mirrored sunglasses, ordered nothing, then planted himself right in front of the register while the line was 12 deep. Raised his voice so every customer could hear. You tell that little thief I raised that if she doesn't pay her share for her sister's wedding, I'm filing a police report for the Garmin watch and the cheer money she stole when she ran off at 13. Jensen didn't flinch, just smiled the same smile he gives rude Karens and said, "Sir, you have 10 seconds to leave before I call Franklin PD myself." Dad slammed the door so hard the bell flew off. The owner pulled the footage, banned him for life, and posted the clip with Dad's face blurred on the shop's Instagram story with the caption, "We protect our people." It got 30,000 views in a day. Mom went full martyr on the private Franklin First Baptist Women's Facebook group. Posted at 2 in the morning, 800-word essay titled, "Please cover my prodigal daughter in prayer." Painted me as the rebellious teen who fell into online gaming addiction, stole from the family jar, ran away despite her godly parents, and now refused to help with her sister's covenant marriage. Attached the same childhood photo, added 3 crying emojis and a broken heart gif, ended with a Cash App link. "If the Lord leads you to bless Dallas's special day." The post got shared to the main church page, then to every neighborhood group within 20 miles. By Wednesday, my old high school teachers were texting me screenshots asking if I was okay. Dallas dropped the hammer Thursday night. 60-second TikTok filmed in her dark bedroom, ring light on low, mascara running. POV: your little sister gets addicted to video games, steals your stuff, runs away at 13. And when you finally get engaged, she ghosts the whole family and refuses to help pay for your wedding. She flashed the old note I left on the kitchen island. She'd kept it all these years. Zoomed in on my 13-year-old handwriting. Set the whole thing to that trending sad country sound. Caption: some wounds never heal. Hashtag prodigal sister, hashtag family betrayal, hashtag prayer warriors. It hit 8 million views in 36 hours. The comments were a bloodbath. People found my LinkedIn, my high school graduation post. Jensen's Instagram started getting tagged by local news stations. Someone made a burner account called Oakley Exposed and posted my address with a skull emoji. My voicemail filled with strangers quoting scripture and calling me Jezebel. One woman left a 5-minute message crying about how I was tearing the body of Christ apart. I saved everything. Screenshots, recordings, timestamps, forwarded the worst threats to Franklin PD and to UT's Title IX office so they'd have a file when classes started. Jensen and I changed every routine overnight. I started parking 2 streets over and walking in the back door at work. He started carrying his concealed carry piece-off body in a sling bag. We turned off all location services, made our Instagrams private, paid a service to scrub both of us from every people search site. I even bought a cheap burner phone for emergencies. The pressure was suffocating. Random cars crawling past the house at night. Church ladies leaving passive-aggressive casseroles on the porch with notes about turning the other cheek. Dallas posting daily updates about how many sleepless nights she'd had, how her heart was shattered, how she just wanted her sister back. Mom sharing GoFundMe updates like scripture verses. But every new attack only made one thing clearer. I had been right to walk away at 13. They hadn't grown. They'd only gotten louder, meaner, and more skilled at playing victim. And I wasn't playing along. Mr. Harlan Carver didn't waste time. He owns the biggest chain of building supply stores in Middle Tennessee. Ridge works for him part-time doing social media ads between TikTok shoots. When Ridge came home crying about how Dallas's little sister is ruining everything, Harlan listened for about 30 seconds, then picked up his phone. He hired a digital forensics company out of Nashville, the kind that works for divorce lawyers and insurance fraud cases. They legally pulled every text, every deleted TikTok draft, every iCloud backup from Ridge's old phone that Dallas had been using for the last 2 years. Took them 4 days. He called my parents and Dallas to his office on a Thursday afternoon. Big glass building off Mallory Lane, Tennessee, and Texas flags flying out front. Told them to come alone. No lawyers, just family business. They showed up thinking it was about wedding money. Harlan had a conference table set with bottled water and a single manila folder in the middle. He didn't offer seats right away. Just opened the folder and started laying out pages, printouts of Mom's church group prayer request, screenshots of Dallas's TikToks with a fake story. The exact text where Mom wrote, Wish you were never born the second time. Dad's threat at the coffee shop transcribed from the security audio. Even a photo of the note I left on the kitchen island at 13. Dallas had kept it all these years and posted it in a private story that got recovered. Then he slid the last page across, a sworn affidavit from the forensics company confirming every item came from devices registered to either Ridge or Dallas. He finally looked up. Here's how this is going to go, he said, voice flat as concrete. Dallas, you are going to post a full public apology video on TikTok within 24 hours. You will read a script I approve word for word, admitting you lied about your sister stealing, running away, everything. You will also announce that you and your parents will no longer accept any financial help from Oakley and that the wedding budget is now entirely on you. If that video is not live by tomorrow night, the wedding is off. I pull my $50,000 commitment. Ridge loses his job and his truck lease, both in my name, and I make sure every vendor in a 100-mile radius knows exactly why. Second option. You walk away right now and figure out how to pay for your own party without dragging my son's name through your family mess. Dallas started crying immediately. Mom jumped in about forgiveness and working it out in the family. Dad tried the kids make mistakes line. Harlan didn't raise his voice once. I don't care about your excuses. I care about my son marrying into a family that treats its own blood like trash and then lies to the world about it. Choose. Dallas looked at Ridge. Ridge looked at the floor. She whispered, I can't post that. I'll lose everything. My followers, my brand deals. I can't. Harlan nodded once, closed the folder. Weddings postponed indefinitely. Ridge, keys to the truck are on my desk. You've got 30 days to move out of the apartment I'm paying for. He stood up. You're all free to leave. They left. Dallas sobbing in the parking lot. Mom screaming that he was destroying her daughter's life. Dad red-faced and silent. Ridge texted Jensen that night from a new number. It's over. Dad killed the wedding. I didn't celebrate. I didn't gloat. I just felt quiet. The people who threw me away at 13 had finally been forced to look in the mirror. And they hated what they saw. Dallas's empire collapsed faster than anyone expected. Within a week of Harlan pulling the plug, the 5 biggest brands she worked with, boutique clothing line, teeth whitening company, local jewelry store, energy drink startup, and a Christian apparel brand, all dropped her. Public statements were polite but brutal. After recent events, we no longer feel our values align. Private emails were blunter. Screenshots of her old texts calling me a thief, the recovered church posts, the note from when I was 13. One by one, contracts canceled, payments reversed, free product shipments stopped. Her follower count froze, then started bleeding. She went from 190,000 to 130,000 in a month. She ended up taking an admin job at a real estate office in Cool Springs. 8 to 5, khakis and polo, answering phones, making copies. $42,000 a year before taxes. Rich moved back in with Harlan and took a warehouse position at the family company. Mom and Dad got the letter from Franklin First Baptist the following Sunday. The elder board voted unanimously to place them under church discipline, temporary suspension of membership privileges for bearing false witness, sowing discord among the body, and bringing reproach on the name of Christ. Translation: no more teaching Sunday school. No more serving communion. No more invitations to potlucks. People still nodded politely in the grocery aisle, but the inner circle closed. The women's Bible study group removed Mom from the group chat. Dad's men's breakfast table suddenly had no empty chairs when he walked in. I graduated with honors in mechanical engineering from UT Knoxville. 3.88 GPA, co-op at Oak Ridge National Lab, full-time offer before I even walked across the stage. Jensen proposed the night of commencement with a ring he designed himself in the engineering lab. We got married the next spring in a little chapel on the Harpeth River. 40 guests total, college friends, coworkers, a few neighbors who'd watched me grow up after Grandma passed. White folding chairs, wildflowers I picked myself, barbecue from Martin's for dinner. I wore Grandma's pearl earrings and the same smile I finally recognized in the mirror. Not a single Ramsey was invited. I mailed one extra envelope anyway, A simple thank you card to Mr. Harlan Carver with a photo of Jensen and me cutting our little cake. Inside I wrote, "Thank you for showing me that real family isn't always the one you're born into. Sometimes blood isn't thicker than water. Sometimes the people who choose you, who stand in your corner when the whole world is screaming lies, are the only family that matters." I learned that the hard way at 13, rebuilt my life on it, and never looked back. And today, when I sign my name Oakley Holt, I don't feel like the spare kid anymore. I feel like the one who won.